Good whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, episode number 972-654-3793-549-9999. Repeating.
Nice. Nicely done.
Thank you. That was one of my better episode number read-offs. I did run out of air, though. I got to start running or something.
Noticed. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. We're live at the Silver Tavern. We're streaming live on Spreaker. And, of course, we're going to post the episode once it's done in history and recorded.
Yes.
What's new? Anything?
Well, it's a Monday.
It is Monday.
We're
yes.
live. We're live. That's new.
You had wings. I had a burger. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we both ate before the podcast.
That's odd.
It's not like it's never happened before, but it's rare. You usually go light.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch my figure, but it's not working very well.
Some potato shits or whatever it is you had.
But I decided I went for it and had a burger. I have the meat sweats now, though. Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
We had the meat sweats last week. Those are good ribs.
Yes, those were great ribs. Man, I'm sweating like a Russian waiting in line for a Big Mac right now. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is not good, man. I need to chill.
Yeah, I'm sweating like a check in a bread line.
I'm sweating like a Slavic wearing a tracksuit right now. Oh, man. Anyway, it's another edition of the podcast. I can't believe this shit's still going, man.
I know. Who the hell would have thought?
We're into the 60s now, episode number-wise.
I know.
We've been charting in the U.S. for improv still, and we've also been charting consistently in Israel. We're in the top 100 in Israel, though, baby.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I happened to look up the numbers on how many podcasts there are. There's a lot.
There's a lot. I was impressed by that number when you sent it to me, because I'm like, what are we out of, we're number 222 out of 1,000, but it's more like 11,000.
Yeah, 11,707. And that was from December of 2020. You telling me some bored mofos didn't start a podcast like we did? And be like, well, I'm sure we caused a boom, because people are like, well,
Ginger Boom. These guys can do it.
Those idiots can do it. I can do it. Listen to my voice.
I noticed the one podcast, for some reason, they always pop up on my Insta feed, and they have seasons.
Why?
Why does their podcast? I don't know.
So
they're from Michigan. They're from Ferndale, and they do a podcast, and they claim to be the drunkest podcast in the podcast game. And I take offense to that.
Well,
here's what they said today. This is great, because they had a post. They're done with their podcast for the summer. They have seasons. They go only in the winter and the summer. Then they're like, but we're going to have some live events. I'm like, you haven't done a live event yet? And also, we might even do our podcast from a bar. You motherfuckers are claiming to be the drunkest podcast in the podcast game. We've been doing our shits from the bar since day one.
You ain't the drunkest podcast if you going at home with your 12-pack. Probably 12 packs of White Claw.
I think those dudes drink seltzers for sure,
Yeah, they're White Claws.
So go fuck themselves. They've got a great name for their podcast, but other than that, they're trash.
So I did find another...
I've only listened to a few minutes. Actually, they're probably pretty good. But they do a lot of the things that we do, though. I think they follow us. I think they're the Bizarro Us's.
It could be.
Yeah. Like, I noticed, though, that, like, the one day they posted something, and we had talked about that on our podcast, like, 2 weeks prior.
So they probably thought they were safe, and they're like, oh, we can talk about that now.
Yeah. I mean, Phil and Adam's take on it was great, but I think we can do better. Or they just regurgitated our take on it.
Let's sit down and have a severe planning session of what we're going to talk about.
The only thing they're doing better than us, I think, at this point, is their merchandising and their name. I mean, they've got a pretty killer name for their podcast. I'm not going to say it, because, hell, we have a hard enough time advertising our own podcast. So I'm not going to say somebody else's podcast name, if that's fair.
My mic must have a lot of gain to it right now.
Yeah,
yours is actually higher than mine, but mine's really picking up. Oh, man, that's about where mine should be, probably.
Yeah, right about there. Maybe just a smidge more. There you go.
Yeah.
See, it's live, man. It's live.
We're live.
And we don't edit.
Live,
we don't edit.
bitches.
So we don't edit. We don't make outrageous claims.
There is not a single note. Oh, but you might have a drunken note this week.
I do.
Oh, fantastic. So I do have a gear to grind.
Okay, what's your gear to grind?
So my kids pointed out to me that there is a P&A podcast.
Tell me more.
It's pretty terrible. I mean,
was it established before ours, or?
I did not look. I would love to find a snippet of it and play it on the show, even though I would not have permission, and it would probably likely be a copyright violation, but I don't think these guys are probably good enough to find us and call us out on it.
Right.
They would not know to email us at pineapplenipplearsehole@gmail.com.
Right.
They would also not email us at pineapplenipplearsehole podcast express phonetically, PNA podcast express @gmail.com.
Right.
They would also not message us on Facebook.
No.
But I think their podcast is done after like 7 or 8 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and rightly so.
Right. So their podcast didn't go very, very far?
No, not at all. And
okay.
And that's a good thing. The world is better for that.
Yeah, the world is definitely... Oh, wait. I think I found some of their podcasts. Hold on. Let's listen. This is going to be good, I think. Wait.
It's not a whole lot different than that.
So I just YouTube 3 hours of people farting, and it came up as the PNA podcast. Not to be confused with the PNA Podcast Express. We're definitely a better product.
Now I got to see if I can find their intro. And I know,
do they have an intro?
No intro music. It just starts out with them bantering in like 2-word sentences back and forth.
How old are these people? Are they younger guys or are they?
No, they don't sound like they're young.
Huh. We don't sound like we're young either, though.
Oh,
this kind of bums me out, dude.
And now I can't find it.
Well, I guess it's very forgettable, right? Yeah, I don't know. So I joined Instagram for the podcast, which I rarely post on. I should post something on Instagram. But in my bio, I'm linked to our podcast website and everything. And all of a sudden on my feed started being a couple different people's podcasts, other podcasts. And I want to support these people, but let's face it, the only other podcast that really matters is Joe Rogan, I feel like.
Yes.
So.
Well, there's a few other good ones.
Yeah, there are.
I mean, he's ranked number 4. We've been within throwing distance of Joe Rogan.
We could almost smell Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yes, we've been ranked as high as, 45th or something?
46.
46 for comedy improv in the United States. That's pretty damn good.
That's solid.
I got to say, that's probably one of the top 10 accomplishments I've ever had in my life, really. And, I mean, I'm semi-accomplished at things.
You've done things.
I mean, I'm not a professional, but I'm a state champion in a couple different things, and I've won some awards, and I've given a few terrible speeches.
All right, do you want to hear their...
Thankfully, they weren't at funerals. Go ahead.
Do you want to hear their trailer?
Yeah, let's hear their trailer. In a world where podcasts are average, we maintain to be slightly below average.
Hello there, and welcome to what is being called the PNA Podcast. Here we are committed to making your Mondays more fun, if fun is a word that can be used to describe Mondays.
Yes, I was going to say joyful, but as you said, it's not an accurate word to describe Mondays.
Riveting.
But here
These
we
guys
are
just grab you, man.
doing something.
I want to
on a
hear
Monday.
more.
Today's not Monday, but putting out quality content that you can listen to on a Monday every morning at 7:30.
Holy
We
shit,
are
7:30 in
hoping
the
to
morning?
get
What the
these-
fuck, dude?
What a couple of assholes.
Beautiful,
What a bunch of
quality
assholes.
content-filled podcasts out to you beautiful people.
When you want to get something out to
And
nobody,
so-
do it at 7:30 in the morning on Monday.
Absolutely. Here, hold on.
So
I got something for that, too, I think.
Take us more through
Yeah, that was horrible, Adam. So, do the other podcasts sound like that, too?
Yeah, I'll pull up another selection here.
So, they only have 8 episodes, though, you said, or do they have more than that?
It does not appear as so.
And, all right, and here. That sounds better to me.
Hello, and welcome to the long-lost PNA podcast, where we were supposed to put out a podcast every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks?
And we didn't. So yeah, that's fun.
Yep.
But there's some reasoning behind why we haven't been.
So I'm sorry, I way undershot how many episodes they have. They have 9. posted over a year ago. So we started ours after
I
had
hope
already
they don't
ended
chart
theirs.
higher than us.
I don't think they chart at all.
Did you
Rest assured, when we look at the charts, we see our logo on the charts, and our
do.
logos are vastly different.
Oh, okay.
Theirs is orange and in crayon.
Wait a minute. We're not talking about two, like, special needs dudes here, and we're making fun of them, are we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
they're obviously smart enough to put it on YouTube. Just dumb enough to put it on YouTube.
We're not even smart enough to put our shit on
no,
YouTube.
God, no, that's highbrow.
We're-
That's borderline editing.
That would require way too much. Oh, man.
Well, we've cleared out the bar.
That's good, and I don't even have gas. Man alive. Well, that was an interesting soiree.
So yeah, things that grind my gears.
Soiree.
People who have our name granted before we had it, but that just do shit with it.
Like, if you're going to be terrible, at least admit that you're terrible.
Yeah,
They're
at
trying to say that they're the premier podcast for entertainment.
Welcome to the premiere podcast.
We're the number one rated podcast at 7:30 in the morning Eastern time on the West Coast.
On Mondays. We did it on a Monday.
I don't know. Hell, I'm already going to hell. I'm going to
Oh,
go.
yes. We've established this. I want there to be no doubt. I don't want to...
Please email us at pineapplenipplearsole@gmail.com and tell us if we are truly better than that podcast or not, because I kind of want to know.
You'll have a hard time. I had a hard time finding it on YouTube, even though it's already been shown to me.
How many
on
views
YouTube.
did it have on YouTube?
Like their most listened to, their trailer, which had the most listened to, was 51. But then, like their podcast, 22 is the highest number.
Wow, we usually get 22. We get usually 30 to 50 in the first day after we upload one.
Yeah, at least just off of one platform.
Yeah.
So,
So you know what?
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
So maybe we should call him up.
Gay!
We should have him as guest on our podcast.
Hi, we're happy to be guests on your podcast.
It's not as good as the PNA podcast, but the PNA Podcast Express has a sense of urgency that our podcast does not.
Our podcast seems to lack that sense of urgency that you bring to the table. We can appreciate that.
We're very happy to be guest here today. And I already sent you guys, I emailed you guys talking points that I want to express here today. And I'm sorry you guys skipped the pre-show meeting. Really, really unprofessional.
We're very, very angry, as you can tell by our tone.
Don't you take that tone with me!
Oh,
This is fucking hilarious, man.
I'm sorry, random people that were just ripping on
You
you.
were just trying to pour your hearts out and do something.
Oh, if that was pouring their hearts out. Holy hell!
There's not much in there.
No,
We
they
actually
should try
just
drinking.
we lost a bet. That's why we started a podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
It just
Bet with God.
always bet on black and God or black God.
Oh God, if I make it through this night of being out and drinking, I'll start a podcast. And then lo and behold, I woke up the next morning. I'm like, shit, I better give Phil a call.
These are the cries of the carrots because tomorrow is harvest day, and for them, it is the Holocaust.
Yeah, we don't recognize the Holocaust on our podcast.
They're Holocaust deniers. We should just make up a whole bio for them.
we need to start their wiki page.
They're Holocaust deniers, and they incessantly petition large events to have Disney put pants on Donald Duck.
Yes, we are anti-vax. We are very much Holocaust deniers, not survivors.
Yes.
We are also part of the Green Party, and we attend a lot of their events and highly support them.
We feel global warming is a hoax, and we're flat earthers. You can find us all around the globe.
The sky is literally just a giant screen.
Have you seen The Truman Show? We're all living in it.
Yep, that's us. Everybody's part of the show.
It's just, here at the PNA Podcast, we're in on the joke.
We're insiders.
You know what? We're gonna have people email us thinking we actually set that shit up and that was us. I feel like it. Don't you?
Not.
Like the whole time you were playing that, I'm thinking to yourself, people are gonna think that's us fucking with them.
No.
That is rich. That is not us fucking with you. That's not a J.R. Jupiter situation.
I mean, their logo. They did try. They went. They went
with a microphone, just like we did.
Yeah, but
It's
like
supposed
in
to be
crayon.
Yeah, it looks like it's in crayon. You know, Eddie Fury takes all his notes in purple crayon.
Yes.
So, and he was a Marine. So when I tell people, it's so funny because a lot of times I'm like, yeah, Eddie was a Marine. They're like, oh, so he writes everything in crayon. I'm like, funny, you should mention that. Usually when people were in, only people that were in other branches of the military do that, you know.
Yes.
So.
It's okay when they rip on each other.
Yeah, we can. I can. I was never in the military.
Yeah, me either. They'd all kick my ass. So.
I just rip on them all, so yeah. It is what it is. No, thank you for serving our country, everybody. I do appreciate it.
It allows us to sit up here and belittle other people attempting to do a podcast.
Just much like all the armed service branches rip on each other, we can rip on other podcasters. I feel like we've earned that right.
Let's see what they have to. Easter 1 year ago. Easter.
Holy ballsack! We're not dedicated enough to do Easter even.
They've had 14. One of their shows has only had 4 views. Is that their episode 2, you think?
Probably. Episode 2, great episode. By the way, there was a lady in here earlier asking about our podcast. She was a little bit older in years, probably retirement age. She asked about our podcast, and I said, I highly recommend you start with episode 2.
Ooh, this isn't a good sign for them.
Do you think that was the right thing to do, Adam, or is that another reason I'm going to hell?
Well, there's many.
Yeah.
So this is not a good sign for their podcast. Their first podcast started out with 74 views. Their last episode they churned out 11 months ago, 4 views.
Goodness gracious.
They may have alienated their audience.
Probably by fucking releasing at 7:30 in the morning.
Well, yeah, that's not going to...
Trying to make your Mondays
Let's see what they have to do on Easter.
If fun is a word.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the PNA podcast.
Hello.
Yes, we are about a week late on this,
So their story's always they're late or they
last
missed the
Monday.
deadline.
but we're back.
A self-imposed
Again.
deadline.
A self-imposed. Yeah, that's way to.
Yes, again.
So
Today's probably going to be a
you know what?
shorter.
I just decided, dude. By you playing a snippet of their podcast on our podcast,
We've now
you just doubled the amount of listens they've had total to all of their podcasts.
Yeah, I believe so.
You're welcome, PNA Podcast.
Yes, brothers. If we go by them on the road, do we have to hold a fist up in the air?
Of course, solidarity,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I thought so.
So I just realized that I'm like, you actually just doubled the total amount of listens they've had for snippets of their podcast now.
By us two talking about their podcast, we've also effectively doubled the amount of people that have talked about their podcast.
True. Do you think, should we try to email them? Do you think they have a PNA podcast at gmail.com?
They probably have something like pumpernickel napkin artichoke.
Yeah.
They sound like that kind of guy.
Yeah. And they're like, that's hilarious, isn't it?
Oh,
And I'm tossing out pineapple nipple asshole over here.
That's a great email. That's a quality email we just threw out to you people there.
Of course, we're sorry. We're a week and a half behind on reading emails. I just read one that was from 14 days ago. I apologize.
Yes, we were a little bit late because we lost the power adapter to our recording unit. My mom couldn't find it.
I forgot my password. I wrote it on one of my mom's bras, and she threw it away.
I put my stuff in the basement. We set up our studio in the basement. When my mom cleaned it, we can't find anything now. So we're a little bit late with this one.
My mom also found my stack of Maxim magazines, and I've been getting yelled at ever since because I brought that smut into her house.
So this week's episode is being recorded on a Sanyo reel-to-reel recorder because we couldn't find anything. My mom threw it all away.
But don't worry, the audio quality will be just as good as what we normally do.
This is in rich analog. Bring to your digital download in rich analog.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, guys, if you're listening. I mean,
They probably are.
So what the fuck happens when they decide to pick their podcast back up? And they said, we should listen into the PNA Podcast Express.
They're probably just faster episodes than ours.
How are these guys doing 2, sometimes 3 episodes a week? That can't be quality content.
By the time we do all the editing on the reel-to-reel, and we find all the stuff that my mom lost, I don't know how they possibly fit that all in.
Mom, meatloaf!
Yeah, I'm, my mom's nice and everything. Sometimes she brings us jelly sandwiches, but sometimes she puts peanut butter on them, and I don't like that as much. Doesn't even cut the crust off. She's like, you're 37, you cut your own damn crust off.
I was just going to say, she's proud that I'm 37 and still living in her basement, but I'm trying to make something of myself. We do a podcast at least every 2 to 3 weeks, and we release it on Monday mornings at 7:30.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make something of myself, so if you could please fund my Steve Gutenberg Friend for a Day account.
That motherfucker probably does that. He probably has met Steve Gutenberg before.
Probably. It's probably rocketed right to the top.
Him and Gut are probably best friends. He's my best friend.
That was, wow. We are wasting our time doing a podcast.
We're just wasting something.
That sounded like it could have been a Chick-fil-A jingle.
And that was impromptu.
A total.
We've been improv. That's what it's. We actually record so much that we know each other's cues so well. Now it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's a little sad.
Because we're over 60 hours worth of podcast.
That's something else you don't get with the P&A podcast full edition.
Right.
Yeah.
So
those guys with all their planning, they would never throw a medley in the middle.
You guys missed the pre-show meeting, and I'm very upset.
Yeah, very
highly
sad.
Unprofessional.
This is going to throw us way off. Way off.
Normally, we have our pre-show meeting at 5 a.m., and it lasts until 6:30. And then we eat breakfast that my mom had made for us at 6:30, and we start recording at 7. We post at 7:30.
Oh, wait! Is there someone else on the podcast that I'm not aware of? Did you invite another guest? Huh? That's him again. That's him again, throwing me off.
I don't understand.
I don't know why I've instantly become able to do a rendition of their.
By the way, that was not us.
No, dear God, no.
That was not us. This is not a spoof. I mean, most of the shit we do is, but this is
not,
legit.
This is not the Bovosphere.
So here, can I ask our listeners? Well, first of all, ask other people to listen to our shit. But second of all, take some time and go to YouTube and type in P&A podcast. Just podcast, no express.
Yeah.
And
we're not on YouTube.
No, YouTube. So let's try to amp those numbers up for those guys. Like, let's try to make that 4. Well, it's a 5 now. Let's make that a 10.
Yeah, let's get that up. Let's get them excited. Let's get them back in the game.
Here's what we need. I don't have time to listen to this bullshit, but maybe some of our listeners do. Send us notes and via email, like just the Cliff Notes versions of their podcast.
Yeah. Like, well, this week...
Just broad stroke it for us.
This week, Joe had anal warts, but he was able to get rid of those with some sandpaper.
He couldn't sit right for a week.
He's a little sore. That's why they were a week late this week. Couldn't sit. This week's podcast was done standing.
This week's podcast brought to you by 40 Grit Sandpaper.
40 Grit Sandpaper and Preparation H.
Oh.
And Asper Cream.
I don't know any other preparations, but H seems to be the most useful.
Yeah. I don't want to know what, if H is going there, I don't want to know what G is.
Oh, good Lord.
Or really I.
Are there any other preparations besides H?
There's that one you have to do before a colonoscopy. Where you drink that stuff.
So that's what a prostate exam is. Gross. Oh, man, I forgot I got to share our shit.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you know what I hate? Fucking social media. Fuck these people, but it's necessary for what we do.
Yeah, so all you people listening on social media, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, thank you. You're my best friend.
Yeah, that's what I meant was thank you. Thank you, fuck off, it's all.
It's the same thing. It's
yes.
just like Mitch Hedberg says, that joke was not good. I will take out all of the words and replace them with other ones.
Yeah. We can retract stuff.
Yes. Although, sometimes when we say things, let me tell you,
it will take our 60 hours down to about 3.
Somebody was offended by something we said on the podcast. They're like, that kind of offended me. I'm like, really? You get that in depth with our podcast that we've offended you somehow?
wow, we're reaching our audience. That means we have influence.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, we have influence. We're under the influence.
Please listen again tomorrow, which will probably be next week because we're always late.
So we listened to 3 different episodes, or the trailer and 2 episodes, and in both of them, the first line was apologizing for being late. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Thank God you keep me on track with this bullshit, Adam. By the way, he is the driving force behind this. I probably would have quit this shit probably 30, 40 episodes ago, but Adam just keeps me going, and I appreciate it.
Well, I lost interest in it a long time ago, but I really want to hear what I'm going to say next.
But he sees how happy it makes me.
Yes.
I just sit here with my tail just wagging back and forth all episode.
You're very happy.
He's who's a good boy?
Oh, that's a good film.
Who's a good boy?
That's a good film.
Oh, man.
It's so great when I scratch behind the ears and your legs shake.
Oh, man. She's dressed like a jelly donut. That was one time, I don't know, I was driving, it was a long drive, and I was thinking about random things Elvis would say, because Elvis was known to be fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
And he loved jelly donuts, I read somewhere. So I bet you he had to at least once in his life see a hot chick and be like, oh, man, she's dressed like a jelly donut.
Probably.
Since that's been that was my tagline for about 6 months there. I typically have had taglines throughout history. Let's see, one of them, wonderful, was wonderful. Everything was just wonderful. And, oh man, she's dressed like a jelly donut. And then another time was, you lip smacking bitch. That one lasted for a while. And then the follow-up to lip smacking bitch was, you ham-fisted whore.
I famously, when people ask me how I'm doing, I'll usually give them if I was any better, there'd have to be 2 of me.
That's right. So my friend is a dick, and here's why. Back in the day, he had the perfect line. We'd be out, in the wild, we were young men, bars, college parties, whatever. Whenever women would ask, what do you do? He'd always retort with, about what? What do you do? About what? Because that's the customary way for people to ask about what your occupation is.
Yes.
So what do you do? About what? I always thought it was classy.
That is
a lot
classy.
of women didn't know how to take that. They're like,
what a dick.
Yeah,
I mean,
dick.
He never got laid or had a very long relationship, but he had a great line.
Yeah, he's the same guy that would always say, so he'd always walk up and be like, hey, have you ever given a woman an orgasm? And people would be like, well, yeah. And how about you? He's like, I don't fucking care. Have you ever given a woman an orgasm? They go, everyone, puff their chest out, and then he'd be like, oh, what about you? I don't fucking care. He's also my partner in crime. We'd be at parties, and somebody'd be rambling on, just like that podcast, telling a story. And I'd look, and I'd be like, can I interject for a second? And he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, hey, Ryan, do you give a shit? And he'd say, no. And I'm like, that makes 2 of us. And we'd walk away. Man, people look quite like you kicked their dog and stole their lunch money after that.
Well, if you'd have been listening, that's what their story was about.
Somebody
was kicking their dog.
It's like, you look like the guys that kicked my dog and stole my lunch money. I'm like, hey, Ryan, do you give a shit about this? No, neither do I.
No,
that
but
makes 2 of us.
I got a broken toe, but I got like $4.50.
I got like $4.50 in a broken toe.
Life is good.
Out there kicking puppies. At least I'm not drowning them like Cardi B.
That is true. Puppy drowning bitch.
Ham-fisted whore.
WAP is actually wet-ass puppy.
I know.
She just changed it. The radio edit is the wet-ass pussy shit that she put out there.
Because drowning cats is apparently okay, but not puppies.
Yeah, and I know this is all a shot at Sarah McLachlan and the ASPA.
ASPCA?
Yeah.
Wet ass.
I'm sorry, I forgot about the C.
So apparently talking about drowning cats is fine, but not talking about drowning puppies. I don't get it. This is America today. It's a sad state of affairs, but who am I to say?
Well, you can go on the P&A podcast and you can talk about that if we put it on the agenda.
Item line number 37.
We're through part F, B,
Now wait,
1
Adam,
on my...
Adam and Phil, that segment was only supposed to go 23 seconds. You're at 32.
We're going to lose listeners. We're down to 4.
It just goes... strategically, our podcast, thank you, listeners, once again. We still need plenty more. But
Yeah.
we've at least went the right direction trajectory-wise as far as listeners.
Yes, I mean, we do this... I'm not going to lie, we do this for ourselves, but we're very happy that it pleases some other people that we do it too.
Yeah, and I'm amazed when I run into people and they say a line that I've said in a podcast, and I was telling Adam this before, and I'm like, well, that's kind of funny. Where did that come from? Who said that? And they're like, you did. And Adam's like, nah, I'm not that funny.
Doesn't sound like something I would
That's
say.
going to be my reaction next time. Nah, I'm not that funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Must have been somebody else.
You must have been listening to that other podcast.
Listening in their mom's basement. And he said on Monday morning. Anyway, went to fun in Monday, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, that was a good line. There is actually a part in one of those podcasts where his partner comes in and says something completely mundane, and he's like, and that was pretty good. So I'm gonna have to find. We might have to have that.
That should be a drop. That's got to be a drop.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I want that to be a drop.
Pretty good.
Did you just come up with that? That is
Yeah.
hilarious.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff, but I find it really funny.
That's just like Phil ripping off haikus randomly.
Yeah, that was, when I think of the top 10 things I've heard, that's definitely in there.
Are you sure it's not you doing that podcast?
I'm
See,
pretty
I don't know. I don't actually know.
No, I wouldn't be able to hold that in. I'd be like, oh, dude, you got to hear what I did.
Dude, I just like fucking just mind fucked the entire podcast game, dude.
Yeah, I'd be pretty proud of that.
I would be too. I think we should claim it as our own anyway. I mean, what are they going to say? They're going to rip off angry emails from their mother's basement at us? Well, I built a trebuchet, and I'm going to launch a rock your direction.
I certainly formed a quality email rant that I threw in your direction, and well, I'm pretty sure you're going to find it stern, but to the point. I hope you don't take offense. That was not my intent. I had my mother proofread it. She was it was very well put together.
I also used the thesaurus. Made sure I didn't repeat the same words. And I had used several different synonyms for dog poop.
I have I also logged it in my journal. It's a 3-ring binder that I keep under my bed.
It's a trapper keeper.
Yes, it's a trapper keeper. It's a 5-star notebook that I keep in that trapper keeper.
It's beside my Stanley thermos.
It's got a vinyl cover, protective cover, since I do keep it under my bed in the basement.
All of my entries have to be in blue ink only, because it's highly unprofessional to write in anything but blue ink.
Yes, you black ink writing people, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
That's too creative. Whoa. That's too pop culture-y for these
now
guys.
you know it wasn't me. Now you know it wasn't me.
Quick, to the point, no faking. Cooking MCs like a pound of bacon.
So, when the kids showed me that, they're like,
that is
no,
fucking hilarious. Like,
there is
this is
already
not
a
a setup,
podcast.
dude. We did not.
No,
this is
no.
a gift from the heavens for us, though.
Yeah.
Kind of like when that busload of 21, 22, and 23-year-olds stopped in the live event.
Yeah. I wish I'd have had that voice to pull out then. Hey, ladies.
Thanks for joining our podcast. Sorry, we're not as prepared for our guest as we had hoped.
Yeah.
I've noticed he does had that a little drone afterwards.
Yeah.
I think we can make this work. Not used to 3-ways.
So I've never talked to a girl before, so you're my first.
The school nurse once almost touched my willy when I pulled my groin.
I kept telling her a little higher, and she was like, no, it's right there, not a little higher.
Did I ever tell this story about how, one of the many reasons why my football coach hated me?
No.
I got peeled right in the fucking nuts during practice one day. Or during a game. And I'm laying on the field, and he always told us, if you get hit in the nuts or the ding-a-ling, grab your knee or something. Don't, for the love of God, be holding your junk out on the field. So I'm laying there, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I've got my hand on my knee, and I'm like, Coach, I got peeled pretty hard in the right in the dick. And he's like, well, get the fuck up. I'm like, I don't know, Coach. Things are pretty rough right now. And everybody had huddled around. I said, Coach, can you do me a favor and just rub it till the swelling goes down? He said, get the fuck up, and he kicked me in the helmet.
So I have my friend is a dick, and here's why story.
All right.
So a friend of mine, and if the person is listening that told me this story, I will keep you 100% anonymous. Everybody involved.
Anon.
So a friend of mine whose wife is in the medical profession, and this particular friend happens to go to said wife for treatment of things. He went to her for like his just normal, physical thing, and he gets done with his wellness exam and all that, and she's telling him, "Yeah, you'll go get blood work. Do you have anything else?" And he says to her, I have like a weird rash on my penis.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of baffled by it. It's a little sore." So.
He was born in 1994. I've ID'd him before. I know that.
So she says to him, "Okay, well, go ahead and drop your pants." And he says, he's like, "All right." So she starts kind of looking at it. She goes, "I'm just not seeing it." He's like, "Oh, it's on the underside. It's on the underside." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just not seeing it." He's like, "Oh, I guess it's fine. Maybe you should go home and tell your husband that you were handling my junk all day."
Oh, no! That's fantastic.
Yeah. And honestly, if she didn't tag him when he said that, I'd be really, really upset.
Oh, loaded.
He said she did kind of just throw it down. I'm like, well, that's awfully ambitious of you to think that she could just throw it down. I'm sure you meant she dropped it like a couple of inches.
Drop it like it's hot. Well, I ain't saying she a gold digger.
But she ain't hanging with no broke.
I love the radio. We were discussing that radio edit. We sit around way too long before shows now. We actually have a better podcast before we have the podcast some days, and today was one of them, I feel like. Although that's fucking gold, finding that goddamn podcast.
Yeah, we'll be able to use that forever.
That's going to be the kind of thing that keeps on giving right through Easter after Easter episode.
That's just manna from the heavens right there. Okay, so what I would like for you to do, and I know you're busy, you're very busy, but can you at least secure a drop or two from those guys for us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like, if I had just been shown this last night.
Yeah.
And I didn't even intend to bring it up today.
Right.
But then when I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, yeah, this has to be brought to light. Because I would hate for somebody to Google our podcast and think that crayon-drawn logo and those two Neanderthals that sit there and talk on that are even loosely related with us.
We're higher-class Neanderthals.
Yes. We are, at least we talk.
We don't stumble over every other word.
One time we decided we should start a podcast. And, we looked at the metrics, and currently a very underutilized segment of the market and timeshares is Monday mornings at 7:30. Wait, that was too much enthusiasm. Shockingly, there are only 4 other podcasts in the United States that release at that time on that day.
Today's podcast is brought to you by my mom. She babysits upstairs, and so it's brought to you by her. If you need your kid watched, she does that. She can do that. She has eyes. She's not blind, and she can keep those eyes on kids all through the day.
And most of the time, when she remembers, she'll cut the crust off your peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Unless, of course, your child has a peanut allergy, and then, I wouldn't bring them to my mom because she really likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
And my mom's house is very clean. One of her hobbies is she vacuums twice every day.
Except for on Mondays, because we do this podcast. She likes to vacuum in the morning, and I'm just like, Mom, that's too loud. Don't vacuum right now. And so she's like, okay, I'll vacuum on Tuesday.
You know what we should do? We should do like, you know how people with the bots now, like with TV shows, they'll they'll feed them a script, like 10 scripts from 10 different episodes of a show, like the same show, and have the bots write it based on algorithms of what they do.
Yeah.
We should listen to their podcast and actually do a full episode as them. Like the bot scripted episode.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. It wouldn't be hard. It'd just be a lot of Mom.
Sorry, we're about 9 days late on this podcast. I called Adam last week, and
Who's like, yes, Easter Bunny gives out eggs.
I haven't.
I just randomly slid the slider bar over, and we get handed that gem.
Oh my goodness!
Something tells me that this is way more entertaining than I thought it would be.
I think it is. We're going to write a bot episode, and we're going to do it as those guys.
The Easter egg hands out eggs.
I called Adam and said we're already 2 days late on this episode, and then I said that I'm a little mad at him because he almost stepped on my pet turtle last week, and he never called me back. But here we are today. We've made amends. He fed Shelly some lettuce, and she forgave him.
I called him and I was like, hey, we're 2 days late. My mom's waiting to vacuum. There's now a dog hair dust bunny in the corner of the house because our dog sheds like crazy, so she wants to vacuum every day. And I already put her off on Monday, and here we are at Wednesday, and she's not happy.
I've had to adjust my entire schedule for the week. You know that Wednesday mornings are my chess club, and I missed it. And you know that I'm petitioning to be club champion, and I had a really important match with the Russian this week.
He's not really a Russian. He just his name is Victor, so we call him the Russian. Victor Schwartz.
He's actually from Hershey, Pennsylvania,
which is practically Russia.
We got to find out where these guys are from.
Bunch of
we gotta
fucking
get some
communist.
background. We gotta freaking get some background on these guys.
We do. We got.
Like real background.
Have you tried our Wikipedia page again? It didn't load the first time, did it?
I honestly haven't.
Okay.
I submitted everything. I haven't gotten rejected yet.
Oh, it hasn't gotten rejected yet?
No.
So there's still
hope.
Maybe they confused us with those fuckers.
Maybe
they're like, this is brilliant. We can't tell if this is a ruse or if this is these guys are just that good because if this is intentional, then it's fucking brilliant. If this is unintentional, this is fucking dog shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the latter.
Pretty sure when we designed this podcast, it was totally to just make the fact that my mom hasn't vacuumed since Monday seem not so bad.
So for those of the callback, it was pointed out to Adam that there's actually a podcast called P&A Podcast out there. And they
Not
have
Express.
Not Express. And they have, roughly 9 riveting episodes.
Well, I
one of them
that
which,
up too.
One of them which had a whopping four downloads before today.
And one of those was probably me from the other day.
Because you had to listen the other day too?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know that each of them listened to it themselves. So there's two views. So who's the third? Their mother? No, she wouldn't want to listen. She says there's too much vacuum talk. It sucks. What a terrible dad joke. Oh.
Gay!
Adam's feverishly typing over there into the Anyway.
So I've randomly selected another point in the podcast.
Okay, let's see what they have to say. We should, you know what? This is going to be a running segment now. We randomly check into one of their podcasts. How does that sound?
This sounds pretty good. This
Okay.
is a selection from episode 5, Happy Easter, from the P&A podcast. This has 14 views from 1 year ago. So you will essentially, by listening to this, add a significant percentage to the people who have heard it. So here we go.
Oh, the suspense.
Hello there, and welcome to what is being called the P&A Podcast. Here we are committed to making your Mondays more...
Oh, it started over.
We already heard that part.
Yeah.
Go random.
This is at oh, well, it totally jumped on me here.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it, they can't even do this right. God. So we're going to go to the...
As my grandfather used to say, you could fuck up a wet dream.
We're going to go to the Welcome Back Again episode. So welcome back again to all you people.
Hello, everyone. But here's the problem with like a lot of these flat earther people is...
Holy shit!
Show them that...
Am I clairvoyant?
Their conspiracy is incorrect. They just go deeper into the conspiracy. Like you could say... Like, you know, if there's images from space, but then they'll say, like, you know...
Dude,
but
did
what if
I
that's
not
NASA
mention they were
just
flat
making
earthers?
pictures
Didn't I
on
say
them?
that?
Well, they're discussing the problem with...
No,
flat
but it's funny that I mentioned that, and then the same subject comes up in a random... That was not planned either.
No, if we were to listen to that further, the other guy would probably go, well, I'm kind of a flat earther.
I mean, where would Mother's vacuum go if the Earth wasn't flat?
Yeah, how do Roombas work if the Earth isn't flat?
Like if the Earth has a curvature to it, how are we supposed to?
It doesn't.
How are we supposed to mop in the corners?
I mean, my mom's Roomba knows how to get back, and she can take her phone and tell it not to run at 7:30 on Mondays, so we can get this done. And so we've got that going for us.
How long are their podcasts generally?
22 to like 30 minutes.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I cannot believe I mentioned I pulled that out of my ass about the flat earther stuff.
I'm kind of shocked too.
And then it's lowbrow stuff though. Anybody that talks about anybody on a podcast at some point, like I said, you could probably bot our episodes too, believe it or not.
Well, but we have taboo things that we
Right.
won't talk about hot button issues,
Right.
Things like that. We
Typically not political, and of course we don't discuss the C word.
we take the
And
high
I don't
road.
mean cunt. We'll say
No.
that word.
No, we talk about plenty of cunts on the show.
Yeah,
Hell,
lots
you got,
of cunts.
You got 2 on here right now.
Sometimes somebody just needs to get kicked right square in the cunt.
Mom, I'm really sorry. Those guys said cunt on their podcast.
Sorry.
It's not our podcast, Mom. We have no control over it.
See you next Tuesday.
So, let's see, Nostradamus of the podcast. I have jumped to 1602.
What will you give me if I mentioned something already that they talk about? Nothing. Just kudos, right?
I'll buy tonight's tab. I'll pay.
Ooh, that's taboo.
As soon as you expose the conspiracy, they just go deeper into the conspiracy. They have so many other conspiracies that allow them to have this one thing that makes no sense.
Wait for it.
Yeah, no, it's very weird.
Holy fuck!
Different methods.
I called that.
Conspiracy
I called that.
theory, psychology, or whatever that word is.
Oh my god!
Mom, are you a flat earther?
It's an interesting subject. It's
Dude,
a shame the rocket guy died, because I would kick in a few bucks just to see the guy go up and find out that it's around.
Yeah, no, because I guess that's maybe the danger of building your own rockets, maybe.
I'll tell you what, we only talk about one sort of rocket on this show, and that's the one that I have in my pants that gets liftoff every once in a while.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks late, too.
Once a full moon. We never have, I hope we never have, you and I have been broadcasting for a long time, though. We never have pauses like that, I hope. That would.
Oh.
Wow.
If we do it, it's because someone naked here in the bar.
Or just something absurd has happened and we can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom, can I build a rocket in the basement?
No, you can't build a rocket in the basement.
Damn it, Mom, it's for the podcast.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
She's, Mom, I'm building a rocket in the basement. I don't care what you say, and we're going to bunk our beds.
We'll have so much more room for activities.
Why did we ever think this was a good idea?
Why did you let us do this?
No power tools, Dale.
It's not. It's we're done.
What are their names? Did they ever say what their names are?
No.
Something just randomly.
Would you?
No. But I was told that's the first thing when you start a broadcast, and when you end a broadcast, you're supposed to state your names. For whatever's sake. For hate mail? Is that what it's for?
Yeah, so that somebody's got something to go, Mom, Tony there is not, he's not doing well on the podcast.
So, and also, it's the radio thing where you've got to run the radio tag every once in a while, every so often by
WNBC.
By FCC standards. And it's funny how I love Eddie, but he's so old school that he insists that when we go to commercial break for Thumb Tailgater Sports, we have to mention that you're listening to Thumb Tailgater Sports.
Yeah.
Hey, people have sought you out.
If they're listening
on the
to
internet,
it, there is a logo staring them in the face, either on their phone or on.
That's just like every 5 minutes if we were to say you're listening to the PNA Podcast Express,
the express version of the full version.
We're pretty much the express in our cadence compared to those guys too.
Yeah. We express our pauses.
I mean, there's no hitch in our giddy up.
No, we get right to it. It's not good what we get to, but we get to it.
I don't like the dick, but he has a point. That used to be another tagline for Ryan and I. I don't like the dick, but he has a point. Or one time, or another. Did you ever expect anything that intelligent to come from this guy?
I did hear somebody say once, "You really want a tip from that dick?"
You really want a tip? Just the tip of the thumb. I haven't been on the radio in a long time because every morning, I don't know if you ever noticed when we were doing the weather, I'd always say for either Grindstone City or Port Austin, just the tip of the thumb, Port Austin. Eddie's never bitched at me about it. The only thing they've ever bitched at me about at the radio station was trying to make Eddie laugh during the obituaries. I was told I had to stop that.
Oh. But doesn't that, I mean, think about it. If you're on the obituaries and you got some guy reading it and he's like, and he was 67 years old, he'll be at Marsh Funeral Chapel, and you hear that guy laugh, wouldn't that be like a memorable obituary?
Although it would be. I would always try to make Eddie laugh while he's reading the obituaries. The one time, though, he did, one of the best moments of the morning show was probably when he was telling the story, reading the story about the guy jumping the drawbridge, and I lose my shit. And he lets me, too. Like, I just start fucking busting out laughing.
So, we talked before about, writing your own obituary type of thing.
Yes.
What would be the one thing you'd put in your obituary that would make Eddie lose his shit?
Let's see. Man. I don't know. Undefeated masturbation champion?
Mine would be his final wishes were to be packed full of popcorn through his anus. Cremation has taken place, and there's free popcorn for everyone at WMIC.
See, this is what I used to always say. That would be my threat. That was my go-to threat in college. I am so pissed at you right now. I'm going to fucking fill your ass crack up with popcorn, duct tape it shut, and take a heat gun to it.
I don't know if the physics of that work, but I like it.
It paints a vivid picture.
Couldn't you just picture Eddie reading that? Cremation has taken place, and free popcorn is available here at
WMIC. Oh, man. So we've shared that, though, before, that we both worked at the radio station.
Yes.
Yes, we're relative nobodies, but we have some broadcast experience.
Yeah. We have years of poor experience.
Terrible experiences.
I mean, you can do something a long time and be terrible at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Cardi B has proven that.
Oh, with their wet-ass puppies?
Yeah.
Where she changed. Don't try to church it up, Cardi.
No.
We know you're drowning puppies instead of kitties.
Yeah.
I don't know, why has society decided it's okay to drown kitties?
I don't know.
Wet-ass kitties.
Why's it got to be their ass that's wet?
I don't know.
Don't you ever wash behind your ears?
Maybe that's why, because she drowns puppies, but she doesn't know that cats breathe out of that side, so she's just putting their asses in the water.
Oh, okay.
And
that makes sense.
They're just making bubbles at that point.
Meanwhile, Sarah McLachlan standing on a hillside, shedding a tear.
And some trash blows by.
Yeah. The eyes of an angel.
Oh, my good Lord.
Boy.
We're going to hell.
Yep.
Oh, these are the people that are going to hell. That's my favorite song by the Vandals anyway. I love the Vandals. Like, they are one of the most underrated bands. Like, I've Got a Date, My Girlfriend's Dead, People That Are Going to Hell. I mean, their album title's epic. One of their albums. They've got several albums, but it's Vandals Good, Hitler Bad. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. They are the people that are going to hell.
I remember watching Peter Steele on an interview on TV one time. from Typo Negative.
Oh, I knew exactly. He
Well,
posed for Playgirl magazine and didn't
yeah.
realize that it was mostly homosexual men that read it.
And my wife had that, and she was mad because her mom threw it away.
The Peter Steele Playgirl episode.
Yeah, that was probably worth a lot of money now.
You know, that used to be back before, yeah, it probably is. Back before everybody got enlightened and I did comedy way back in the day, one of my questions on stage would be, do gay guys jerk off to Playgirl magazine?
I would say
I
probably
would
yes.
think so.
Well, I'm pretty sure that even though he was paper in the magazine, he's probably had his way with my wife more than I ever have.
He from what I've heard, had an absolute unit, too. He was a tall guy,
Yeah,
too. Wasn't he like 6'7" or something like that?
6'8".
He actually used a chain and he played bass guitar, but he used a full standard upright bass, but wore it like a regular guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I seen him live, the few times I seen him live, he played a normal like Fender bass, but he had a chain for a strap.
Yeah.
And then, he was just so huge, and he was a garbage man. He never quit his garbage man job in New York City.
Really?
Nope. They toured around his job.
He says, "I'm walking here."
Yeah, he took some extra. He got extra time off and stuff, but he kept his because he wanted a fallback.
My last soiree on stage in public was to sing Black Number One, which
Yes.
is about hair dye.
Yes.
For the Halloween show.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Your backup band was fantastic.
Oh, they were I'd like to tour with them. If Eddie Fury ever fires you guys, I'll be the front man, okay?
Okay. We got to
I have similar vocal range. I'm not quite the showman he is. I refuse to wear a codpiece or spandex on stage, but
I don't think you wore either. It was just like a black wife beater and black jeans.
yeah.
But man, they were so good live. But I remember him on this episode. They asked him, they're like,
He was
"Where do
like
you get
he's
this?"
like the gay Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Okay. But there was a pause. I'm sorry. I don't know why he paused there. Made perfect sense to me.
That was for effect, Bill. That wasn't to collect your thoughts.
I was ready to riff off of that one, but
and then he did the gay Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
And I said, wait a minute. If he's the gay Freddie Mercury, and Freddie Mercury was already gay, then that would make him straight.
And now you have to ask yourself, how bucktooth could somebody be?
That's right. I'm not understanding what's going on here with
What?
This is not what we rehearsed.
So they asked him, they're like, "How do you come up with all your lyrics?" He's like, "Oh, mostly I just write them on the toilet."
He writes them while he's on the toilet?
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't write them on the toilet. So he doesn't physically write RFD. He doesn't officially write them. He doesn't write them on the porcelain of the toilet.
No.
He writes them while he's sitting on the toilet.
alluding to the fact that he shits while he
Just writing
writes
lyrics.
music. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, that's when you do some of your best stinking and thinking.
Some of my best Facebook posts.
From the toilet?
Yeah.
Tales from the toilet?
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is my Zen time. I know that I try to do it at work because, the boss makes $1 and I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Absolutely.
Plus, as Ryan used to say, use the boss's shit paper. Why use your own?
Exactly.
And so he was actually to the point. My buddy Ryan, my roommate Ryan, he's also the dick in most of my stories. He would get pissed if he had to shit while he was at home. He's like, "Motherfucker, I was trying to save this for work," and I'm like, "That's how you blow some gaskets, dude."
There's Tecmo Bowl up on the big screen. It's on TBS. And I'm watching him run with Bo Jackson. Way too much juking. You didn't need to juke that much with Bo Jackson.
No.
What the hell are you thinking?
It's Bo. It's Felix. It's Felix. We've talked about nothing this whole episode.
Absolutely nothing.
And we're well over an hour in.
We're 59 minutes to the T in right now.
Oh, jeez. My internal clock is a
Which,
little bit
if you take in effect all of the pauses, we've had exactly 12 minutes of broadcast time.
of content.
Yes, 12 minutes of content.
I'm sorry, Mom forgot to bring the meatloaf down, and
I ate food beforehand, which has got me a little logy. I don't have the energy that I normally do, so I apologize.
I don't know. I think you've done pretty well tonight.
At least I'm kind of out of that funk I was in about 3 weeks ago, man. I was in a bad way 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I almost brought tampons tonight.
I know I dumped out my entire purse that night, too, and I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it took me forever to stuff all that shit back in my purse.
There was like a one of those atomic fireballs half wrapped back in the plastic in that purse.
Of course.
You know,
You can't throw shit like that out. It never goes out of style.
a real man eats the whole thing.
Do you know how much cinnamon that is?
I know.
Jesus.
The cinnamon challenge. Yeah, Mom didn't like it when I did the cinnamon challenge. She's got a white rug in the basement, which is probably a bad choice to begin with, but I spit cinnamon all over it and took she had to vacuum 3 or 4 times. She was vacuuming literally all day on Tuesday.
You know what? The bad part is, and I will stand beside this, our backstory and our imitation of their podcast is probably far more entertaining than anything that's true or they've done. Yeah,
You know,
Mom really, there's 2 things my mother looks forward to every day. That's the 7:30 in the morning vacuuming of the rugs. The mailman arrives anywhere between 12 and 12:10 every single day.
He leaves anywhere from 12:15 to 12:25.
And as he's walking out, he points at me and says, "Wow, your mom really wants you to get the mail."
Special delivery, kid. So we were talking about flat earthers,
And my mom's, the mailman's been doing that for years, and I don't understand because my little brother, he's black, and so is Clarence the mailman.
we were talking about flat earthers, and bigger concern for me is what I like to call flat chesters. If it's not at least a C, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned.
More than
Not that I've ever seen them in 3 dimensions.
My little brother Tyrone says more than a mouthful's a waste.
Yeah, and he's
only 15, and he slept with 7 more women than I have because he just slept with his 7th one last night.
and you know he's pretty worldly. He's been outside.
Mother lets him run the vacuum cleaner.
He runs the vacuum cleaner. He's got the Roomba app right on his phone. I haven't been given access to this yet.
I don't know the password. I still try to crack it. I've been trying to hack it for a while, and I put in my birthday, and thinking Mother would think I'm number 1. But it's not my birthday. It's not Tyrone's birthday.
I have not tried P&A podcast in it for the password yet, but I'm sure that could probably be it.
It's not my mother's bra size. It's not. Oh, no.
So I was caught the other day trying to drill a hole from the bathroom to my sister's room. That was embarrassing. But these flat earthers.
these flat earthers, they just decide that they want to talk about a conspiracy theory and spread it. And they think that it's not a conspiracy theory because to them it's all real.
And they're not even trying to drill a hole in my sister's room. I mean, what are they accomplishing?
They're just trying to drill a hole in my sister.
Yeah. They're having way more success than I am.
I even tried to use some penetrating oil, and they said no. You should use KY jelly or Astro Lube.
I was like, what does Kentucky have to do with it, or Elon Musk?
What does Kentucky's best jelly have to do with any of this?
Isn't Astroglide? Isn't that what Elon Musk tries to get the spaceships up with?
I once saw a comedian that said Astroglide. You can park a Cadillac in a doghouse with that stuff.
Yeah, so far I haven't had the luck with it that other people have.
I don't own a Cadillac, but we have a doghouse out back. But I fit into that just fine.
You know, somebody told me to get some Astroglide that I'd have a lot of fun with that, and I'm just slippery now. I just slip all over the place.
My shoes go on a lot easier though.
Talk about you.
So we're not totally sure. I tried to read the directions, but
it says apply liberally, but it doesn't say where.
Yeah. It just apply liberally and go to it. So I tried to pick up my Nintendo controller, and it just didn't work anymore. It's sliding right out of my hand.
It said go to it. I didn't know where, so I went to 7-Eleven, and they kicked me out. I couldn't hold my slushie cup.
It was falling all over. It was cold.
I left a trail of Astroglide through the 7-Eleven. Only aisles 1, 3, and 5, because I don't go to the even aisles because that's where the toiletries are and also the car care products. And I have no interest because I don't have to buy toiletries because my mother does, and I don't own a car.
The other aisle 7 has condoms in it, and I have no reason for those.
Yeah, I tried to put them on my ears once, and
I go bareback with all the bitches.
They call me Bareback Mountain.
Oh boy, poor P&A.
Oh man, we've just
podcast.
lambasted their whole show, but holy shit. But it's been fun, and no, to reiterate, that is not us
That is
doing
not
it.
us. That is not us.
We are sometimes smart fellers, but we're not that brilliant, trust me.
No, if we... Plus, that would have taken planning, which is not what we do here.
No.
Not at all.
Like mother running the vacuum, 7:30 in the morning. That's not us.
No.
If you're looking for Clydesdale, we're not your people.
Never tried the vacuum.
No.
I think I did once when I was young. It hurt.
That's why Mom won't let me use a vacuum
Made
no
some
more.
weird noises too, like
You know, I tried doing that to the Roomba, but it just won't stop. It just won't stop long enough to get in there.
I was lying on the floor fully erect, and I hoisted the mainsail, and instead it just tried to vacuum my butthole.
It just keeps going around me. I don't understand. It doesn't like me. Oh, boy.
It doesn't like the tallest tree in the forest.
I tried putting that KY on the Roomba, and then my mom got mad because it looked the floors had been waxed.
It just left streaks.
I was like, that's not wax, Mom. It's
Ma,
Kentucky
I
jelly.
looped up the Roomba.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of when a dog shits in the
Yeah.
floor of a Roomba? That's fucking impressive. It's like a Jackson Pollock painting or something.
It's like a Bob Ross. We can have a happy little mistake there.
Happy little mistake.
We're just going to turn that into a mountain.
In front of the couch and around the guy laying there with his erect penis in the living room.
We're just going to have you take your little knife there and get some paint on it. We got a nice little roll of paint. And we're just going to turn that into a nice little mountain right
Hey,
there.
everything right now is brown. But
Just
that's
a happy accident.
happy accident.
We don't make mistakes. We just make happy accidents. I don't know why he sounds like he's on the podcast, too, but that's the only voice I have at this point.
I love the urban legends, like that he was a drill instructor in the military. He wasn't in the military, but he was a drill instructor.
Yeah, he
and
was
shit
in the
like
Air Force, so even if he was a drill instructor,
that. Yeah, he was a
been like,
Nancy type drill
yeah,
instructor.
yeah, it's really
Sorry,
very
so
nice.
we appreciate your service, all you Air Forceans out there. They
Yeah,
do
but
call it the Chair Force, though. So,
Let's face it, you guys have got it pretty easy.
which by rightfully you tend to be a little smarter than say some of the people that join the other branches. So.
Well, you know, a good friend of ours who was in the Army,
Yeah.
after being overseas, he said, you know what, if I had to do it all over again, I'd join the Air Force.
Yep.
And I'm like, why is that? He goes, money.
Money.
They spend all the money on the Air Force.
And better food too, I've heard.
Yeah. And probably better bitches.
Bitches!
Bitches.
Oh, we haven't played one of these in a while.
We talking about bitches and you go there.
He's like the gay Freddie Mercury.
I didn't know teeth could be horizontal.
Can you believe people didn't realize that he was gay back in the day?
Oh boy. You're the lead singer in a band called Queen. Yeah.
Have you? And then the stories of him just lining up dudes in front of the stage before a show and just fucking them all. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
He looked gay, but he wasn't.
Yeah, that's kind of true, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, who was it? It was David Bowie and somebody else had a gay tryst. They did a song together and they apparently were sleeping
Mick
together.
Jagger.
Yeah, it was Mick Jagger, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy Idol's another one.
Right. Nobody talks about Billy Idol that way.
Billy Squire.
Stroke!
Yeah. Nobody's seen that. I remember my brother being crushed. He's like, man, I went to one of his concerts and there's just bitches everywhere. And I'm like, not for him.
Not for him.
He was like disappointed and crushed. It's like, oh man, really, Billy Squire's gay?
Not only is he a flat earther, but he likes dick.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that Richard Simmons prefers dick.
Sweating in the old days.
Oh, man. My mom insists. That still drives her nuts. It's a joke I tell. The joke I tell about the terrible Halloween when I said I wanted to be Gene Simmons and my mom thought it was Richard Simmons and dressed me up like that. I said it was a very cold and confusing Halloween.
Those 1980 gym shorts did not go with the boots that I had picked out.
They did not. I was thinking I was going to rock out like Gene Simmons. Instead, I was Richard Simmons.
Oh, boy.
All right. Perhaps that's the rumor on how the rumor got started that I was gay. Huh. I'm not.
Rumor.
Gay! There was never that rumor.
This week, we're going to focus on Phil and his sexuality and where that's going to take him.
You can have your I heard you have your day, you have your parade, you have your pride. That's okay.
All right. We're way too far into this.
We've talked about nothing.
Absolutely zero.
And I have to fart.
I'm going to start the ending and run us out here.
He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. This is the PNA Podcast Express. Thanks for listening. Make good choices.